Nope, that title is not clickbait. There was something very bad that happened in Mérida, Mexico. Something that I should have avoided. But I didn't. Why? Well, because I'm an idiot. And no, it was not the cartels. It was, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's go back in time to before, when I was also an idiot. Hi, I am Rick Higgins, and I am sitting here in Mérida, Mexico, down in Yucatan, the very bottom part of Mexico. And why am I here? Well, because I made a video a year and a half ago about this place, and I was... So what was my specific sin? Well, if I had to put it into Christian terms, it would be pride. I decided to come up with this super clever video idea where I would start off, I hate this place, I'm an American and I'm grumpy, and eventually turn into, oh my God, I think I want to be Mexican, I love this place, which is exactly what really happened. But what turned out in the video was just all grumpy. You never got to see the happy. I'm happy. That's why I'm back here. So first off, Mérida is big. I mean, it is sprawling. It is the capital of the Yucatan, after all. The main historical area, the part that most people consider Mérida, it's called Centro, and that's where we're heading now. And there is quite a lot to do down there. It's not Disney World. It's actually kind of better. This is Plaza Grande. This is the heart of Centro. It's got the cathedral behind me. It's got the obligatory Mérida sign. It's got restaurants, shops. It's got pigeons. It's got everything you want. It's even got on the corner over there, it's called the Olympia. Go check it out. It's a free little art gallery. They put some really interesting stuff in there. This is where you're going to come first, but it's not where you're going to go last. This is also kind of the heart of where all of the free stuff is. Now I'm going to put a link to an activity site because there is something free happening here every single day. For instance, I think it's Saturday mornings. They close all these streets and you can kind of get a bike and go ride around. On Friday nights they have this game called, I can't think of the name. It's an old Mayan version of like soccer or football. It's really cool. You get to watch it. On Sundays this turns into a giant open air market, and every other day of the week there's some activity happening within a couple of blocks, which is free, which will teach you all about their heritage, their culture. There is no chance that you are ever going to be bored here. Yeah, it's touristy. Yes, it's recurring, but it's also really cool. Now here's the sad part. Most people who come to Mérida, this is where they go. They don't venture very far off of this particular block. And they also don't go to where the locals go, which is right there. It's 1 block away. It's also one of my bigger mistakes in the last video. I complained that there were no markets. There was no grocery stores except for Walmart. In Mexico, I would like to apologize deeply on behalf of all Americans for these atrocities, this big box nonsense which we have foisted upon your shores, taking away your mom and pop establishments which have served you for centuries, all in the name of American commerce. For that, I deeply and truly apologize to Walmart. Well, that's true on that side of the touristy area. Over here, this is where the local shop. It's where people like me typically don't go because it's scary in Mexico, but you're gonna see it's really neat. So the short version is, if you need it and you can't find it here, you didn't need it. So basically the market is in all kinds of sections. You've got your fish section, your meat section, your non-food section, and it sprawls. It sprawls for blocks in every single direction. And honestly, there is so much stuff here, and low-hanging umbrellas, by the way. This is a cool place to visit. There are food stalls in there. They're not kind of what you expect to be food stalls, but they're very good. And they're very tiny. And that's kind of where I think I might be heading for food. This place is so crowded, everyone's giving me the big old stink eye, so come down yourself. Just don't bring a big-ass camera. And as you might have noticed, it's a little crowded. It's Monday at noon right now. If you come on the weekends, it's not nearly as bad, but I gotta tell you, everybody comes out on a Monday to shop, and this place is nuts. So what have we learned? The lesson is, don't just stay in Centro. Get out, walk around, bring water with you. I'm about to have heat stroke right now because I did not bring water. And then after you've done all of that, get the hell out of Centro. There are plenty of taxis here. Uber works here, and there's another alternative, which I'm going to tell you about in the lightning round. There's so much more than just Plaza Grande. So the #1 comment I got on the last video was my inability to pronounce the name of this city. I kept saying, well, I don't even know what I kept saying. Mérida. I'm not entirely sure I've got it right now, but there's something about Mérida and my tongue that they can't go together. So forgive me if you're all prepared to type in the comments that, oh my God, you still can't pronounce the name. I'm trying, I'm really trying. Okay, having done the whole mea culpa, I was wrong about everything. I was right about something here in Mérida. It is hot. Today is the end of September, almost the beginning of October. It's 90-some degrees, and every night the storms come in. It is hot, you are going to sweat. You will go through 3 or 4 shirts a day. That much I was not wrong about. I kind of forgot about it when I came here. I am literally on my 3rd shirt right now, and I'm heading for my 4th. So, but I tell you what, the cold beers kind of help. So I have a question for you. Do you see these things? Do you have any idea what they're for? I'm not going to tell you right now. I want you to go down to the comments and I want you to put your guess, because there's something you do not ever see in the United States. You don't see anywhere in Europe. You only see them down here in Mexico and in the Caribbean islands. So what's your guess? What do you think they're there for? Okay, there is another way to cool off and you wait for the afternoon thunderstorms. Yeah, they sneak out of nowhere. And I am about 4 blocks from home. This is going to be wet. God, I hope my camera doesn't die. Welcome to the tropics. You know, it's a good thing I live in Miami. I'm kind of used to this stuff, because just as quickly as it started, it ended, which of course means it could start just as quickly again. I am well, actually I'm not. I am here, so let me drag my wet ass inside the apartment and we'll talk in a bit. So Mérida is both affordable and not. Let me show you where we're staying, because this is the affordable part. Okay, you're going to have to forgive us. We live here, so the place is not completely model home worthy, but you've got a nice futon, living room, nice little kitchen, good work area. The entire place is not huge. There's a bedroom I'm going to show you in a second. Now, here's the good part. How much do you think this cost a night? Now, bear in mind, we're down near Centro. We're down near the central part of the historic district. This is where it's most expensive. Write in the comments how much you think this costs, and I'll tell you in a second. Okay, Nikki is actually taking a shower, so I cannot show you the bathroom, but, oh, and I have to explain this. That's called a matrimonial bed. By that I mean, let me show you. As you can see, I take up most of this. This is not a 2-person bed, and yet, that's exactly what we've got. So don't expect king size, queen size. That is not much. I guess we would call it a full. I don't know. I call it annoying. Now, there are aspects of coming here to this fine city that are expensive, primarily food. It's maybe normal kind of prices, a little bit high if you go to the grocery store, but when you go to a restaurant, you're going to be paying some premium prices. By that I mean anywhere from $15 US to, well, much, much higher. They're trying to become this foodie gastronomical destination, and the food is good. We're going to talk about that in a little bit if we haven't already. I don't know how this video is going to be edited, but the food here is incredible. The food here is a lot more expensive than it was a year ago. It is not cheap. So yep, you save money by staying in a place, and you can save a little more money by cooking it yourself, but when you go out to eat, it's going to cost you. Okay, you probably have some questions like internet, Wi-Fi. How's the speed? How's the reliability? Well, it's very good here in this apartment. It was very good the last time we were here in the apartment, and we never had a trouble outside with mobile data. Now, I don't know if your plan is going to cover Mexico or not. My current one does not, but there is free Wi-Fi. If you go up and down Montejo, which is the main street out there, there's free Wi-Fi up and down the entire thing. A lot of free Wi-Fi over in Historic District as well, and most places do have reliable. You just got to ask for the password, just like anywhere else. We haven't had any problem with power. You know, everybody goes, oh, you can't go to Mexico because they always have brownouts and blackouts and the internet sucks, and no, not at all. This is perfect for a remote worker, for a digital nomad. You're not going to have any problem here at all. Now, most places here also have this wonderful indoor green space. They take the outdoors and they bring it indoors. So when it's really hot, and it's only 96 degrees today, thank God another storm is coming, but they take all of this area and it's cooler in here. It's 20 degrees cooler in here. And the rain doesn't always get to you if you're down at the bottom, but I love the fact that you have the option of being outdoors while indoors. It reminds me a lot of Morocco. They also take the great outdoors, bring it indoors, and what you think looks like a slum on the outside just turns out to be absolutely beautiful on the inside. It's all where you look at it, and it's not always the way that we build them in America. I cannot emphasize enough how much heat management and hydration. I just about passed out, and finally I got enough brains in my head to actually sit down. There's a section of this video where I'm talking to you about the cahiers, the numbering system, how you can tell the roads. I don't even know what I was saying. I was practically hallucinating. So I'm gonna get a little bit of hugel in me, a little bit of cold juice, and then maybe we'll talk some sense. Right now, hydrate, stay out of the sun. This is brutal. Okay, I want to take a moment and explain the seriousness of the other day in Mérida, Mexico. I had a full-blown heat stroke, and that night, the entire night, I was so dehydrated, and the cramps that I had all night long, and the delirium and the hallucinations as I was actually walking around the city. I was in bad shape, but I was just too something to understand, to figure it out. I just kept thinking in my head, I just want to get to this one place where I can get some orange juice. Well, that was 2 miles away from where I was. I should have sat. I should have got immediate hydration where I was. I shouldn't have continued on. It was... Look, Mexico heat is bad. Everybody's not surprised by that. But when you're out here, you really have to take precautions. You really need to stay hydrated. You need to take care of your blood sugar. And at the first sign of anything like that or this that's going on again here where I am, stop and take care of yourself. It's not a game. I honestly could have died, or something very bad could have happened. I just kept going. So, don't be like Rick. The one thing that I was right about last time, as soon as my hand stops shaking, I'll start showing you, is the food is incredible. This is relleno negro. I know it looks nasty, but it is incredible. It is basically peppers and turkey, and it's super deep roasted, and that's the darkness. It's spicy as hell, too. You gotta try food. It's not Mexican food. It ain't Taco Bell. It's so much better. I can only imagine how chaotic this video is going to be when I get it all put together. I was seriously overheated there. I mean, to the point where I was even talking about the food. I don't even remember what I was saying. I am still shaking. By all means. So obviously the biggest message I want to leave with you at this moment is don't do what I did. It is so easy to get overheated here. I'm from South Florida. I'm used to this stuff. I'm not used to this stuff. This is... Drink a lot of water, stay out of the sun, and don't, by all means, don't wait until the last second to try to cool yourself down. It's not going to work. My legs are shaking. Anyway, back to the food. So I was joking with Nikki the other day. My son-in-law would probably starve here down in Mérida. The reason being is he's not an adventurous eater. When he goes to a Mexican restaurant, he gets a cheese quesadilla. They don't make cheese quesadillas here. Whatever you think of as Mexican food, you're not going to find here. It's Yucatan food, and it has its own flavor, its own essence, its own culture, and it is so damn delicious. Okay, comida yucateca, which is Yucatecan food. It tends to be on the spicier side, and there's two that you have to remember, two dishes, cochinita de pibil and pakchuk. They are both pork. One is, here, let's start walking along. By the way, this is Paseo de Montejo. It is, you see this big building? It's lined with huge buildings like this. That's actually the, I forget which museum it is. I think it's of archaeology, but I digress. We're talking food, and I'm just gonna go hide here in the shade. Oh my God, and finish telling you. Cochinita de pibil is basically when they take a pig, they marinate it, they dig a big hole, put a fire into it, they throw the pig into it, they let it roast all day, and that shredded, juicy goodness of pork, that's cochinita de pibil. You can get it as a dish, you can get it in tacos. Yeah, I would get it in a bathtub. It is that yummy. Pakchuk is similar. It's also pork, but it's roasted. It looks like a very, very, very thin steak. It's also super flavorful, super marinated. I am stumbling over my words because I am super hot, and I'm gonna go get some ice cream. That's the other thing we got to talk about while we're sitting here on Montejo. is what you do for restaurants and what you do for dessert. And the dessert is kind of interesting. So here on Montejo, which is sort of the old lady street of the entire city, it's a lot of traffic, not a lot of pedestrians, but there are a lot of very good restaurants near and shops. But this place is more of a night destination, and that's when you're going to find the first dessert. They're called marquesitas, and you're going to see little carts pop up, little roller walking down the street carts. A marquesita is well, it's almost like making a waffle cone, but it's rolled up. They have these hot plates, they pour some batter on it, they roll it up, and they stuff it with whatever you want. Nutella, fruits, but the thing that makes a marquesita is cheese. And you can't just have one kind of cheese. You got your shredded cheese, you got your Philadelphia cream cheese. I personally am not a fan of the cheese in the marquesita. I just like a little Nutella and strawberries, and I'm a happy camper. But no, if you want to do the real thing, you got to get the cheese. Now, during the day, as well as at night, the other main dessert, it's just simply ice cream. But here, ice cream's not ice cream. Oh, hey, real quick, I forgot to tell you, stick around for the end of the video because we're going to do more than just Mérida. In fact, we've got not only a bonus, but a double bonus at the end. I think you're going to like it, so don't click away quite yet. You can skip ahead, but don't click away. Hola, lote, por favor, pequeña. Ice cream in the Yucatan is not like Baskin-Robbins' 4,114 flavors. They do have a lot of ones, but most of it has to do with, like, I'm looking at different fruits, some fruits that you've never heard of. Now, I got something called elote. It is my absolute favorite, and when it comes here, you're not going to believe it. Elote is Spanish for roasted corn, and basically, this is corn-flavored ice cream. And yes, the little chunks, I hope it focuses on that, they're corn. Corn inside of corn-flavored ice cream. It's really sweet. It's really, don't you make fun of what I'm eating. Corn-flavored ice cream is where it's at. Get your butt down here and get some elote. Problem is the bottom melts before the top, and you got this soup with a little iceberg in it floating around that you can't get to. Oh, hey, did you figure these things out yet? I haven't looked down in the comics yet because I haven't actually made this video. Make sure I put it in the right spot. Do you know what that is? It is for hanging your purses. Women here in Mexico and throughout a lot of the Caribbean islands, they will not put their purse on the floor. They will not hang it off of the back of the chair. It has nothing to do with safety. It has more to do with superstition. So you have these racks everywhere. A woman sits down at a table, they will bring a rack, they will hang their handbag, their purse, right on it. It is everywhere. I don't know, I just found it kind of odd because you never ever see anything like that in the United States. I'm going to have to get Nikki to write up a little blurb of what the superstition is because it's got one of those deeply rooted in some history. Anyway, trust me, it's for purses. Who got it right, who got it wrong? Show of hands. Of course, the second I push the record button, the truck starts backing up. Oh, let's just sit here and listen to the musical intro. Oh, they stopped the song. Oh, well. Okay, safety. Do I feel safe here in Mérida? Absolutely. Did you know that this is the second safest city in all of the Americas? Only Vancouver is safer. Why? I honestly have no idea. But there is some rumor out and about that the cartels came together and said, we need a place. We need a city where we can send our families, where we don't have to worry about bad things happening. And that was Mérida. I don't know if it's true, because you can also look on Wikipedia and find out which cartel actually runs this area. But it is completely safe. There is no crime. Yeah, there are neighborhoods everywhere where you may not want to walk, and I've been to them. You're completely safe here. You can walk around with a giant camera and nobody's going to say anything. And in fact, we got to talk a little bit about the people. Okay, I am back home, basking under an air conditioner. You're just going to have to deal with this. People, the people here are going to freak you out. And by that, I mean, you're going to have this American mentality where you're going to think, what do they want? Why is this person coming up to me? A lot of people are going to come up to you and talk to you and ask you questions. You want to know why? Because they're interested in you. They really are. They just want to talk. They want to talk about themselves a little bit, their culture, their heritage. They kind of want to point out some places that you might want to see. But in the back of your sad, pathetic American mind, and trust me, because I have the sad, pathetic American mind too, you're going to go, what do they want? What do they want to sell me? No gracias, go away. And you're going to miss out on some really nice people. When folks come up here and talk to you, they really want to talk. So listen and talk back. So what do you do So what does one do for interest and excitement when one is not eating, visiting museums, or doing the other touristy things at the market? Well, you go to a nightclub. Now, we went to one last night called Zalbe. I didn't even take out the camera. It was that much fun. It's this really cool jazz bar. I mean, the music they were playing was just fantastic, incredible. But the place you got to go to, it's called La Negrita. Why? Well, it's where everybody goes. It's where the locals go. It's where the tourists go. It's where if you don't get there before 6 o'clock, you're going to be standing in line just like at some trendy nightclub place where only Johnny Depp gets in. So if you get there before 6, you're going to get a seat. Now bear in mind, it's kind of an outdoors inside kind of place. So if you don't get there really early and it starts raining, you might get wet. But if you have enough mezcal, you're not going to care. Always walk on the shady side of the street. Trust me, you always want to be over here. Hey, there is a simple trick to getting around. All the roads are called calles. Calle means street or road, and they're all numbered. And you're going to go, well, how do you know where the numbers intersect? Well, it's real simple. You need two things. One, what neighborhood are you in? Because if you're in the wrong neighborhood, they repeat, and you'll find yourself miles away from where you think you belong. But all the even streets go this way, all the odd streets go that way. So it's really easy, and they alternate. So if it's you're on 43rd and you want to go to 47th, you've actually only going to go 2 blocks because they skip. Yes, they have Ubers, and yes, you can get them anywhere you want and take you anywhere you want. In fact, you can take an Uber all the way from here to Progreso Beach, but there is an alternative, and it's called Didi, D-I-D-I. It's like Uber, but it's so much cheaper, I'm assuming, because they have so much less overhead. It's also got this unique thing. You can put your credit card in and just have it automatically charge you, or you can hand them a debit card. You can hand the driver cash. It's kind of like the best of taxis and Uber all rolled together at about 2/3 of the price. By the way, I hope all this talk of heat stroke is not putting you off of Mérida. This is my stupidity. This is my not listening to my body. Yes, it's hot down here. It's hot in a lot of places. You just got to be smarter than I am. And it's not hard to do. I keep telling myself that. I just don't listen. Welcome to Progreso Beach, and no, this isn't the beach. This is not the good part. We will get to that in 1 second. If you are in Mérida and you want to spend a couple of days somewhere nice, get down here, up here. It's actually up here. It's real simple to get to. Take an Uber or a Didi. It's 22 miles, a little over 40 minutes. It will cost you $16 US to get up here. It is a cool little beach town. It is not Cancun. It is not resorts. It's just as hot, but a whole lot better. And in fact, the first place we're going to take you, you gotta come here. You'll understand in about 3 seconds. This is Eladios. It is what is it? It's a restaurant. It's a restaurant. I forgot what it was. It is a restaurant on the beach. There is one in Mérida. Do not go there. They suck. This one, we just ordered 2 beers, and you're gonna, if they still do it, you're gonna see kind of what they give you with it. So here's the deal. Every single time you order a drink, they bring you more free appetizers. Last time we were here, they filled the frickin' table with them. They're a little slow today, but yeah, you don't actually need to order food, but we're going to. So at the spot in Progreso where everything kind of comes together, you got your little market street up on one side, you got the Malecon behind me, which is like a giant boardwalk. They just finished it. It's very nice. And there's this huge miles-long pier that runs out into the ocean where the cruise ships and other deep water vessels dock. Where they all come together, that's where Eladios is. This place is touristy as hell, but you gotta come down. It's a fun experience. I've just been sitting there chilling on the beach thinking about this. The reason I like to come to Progreso Beach is it's not pretentious. It's just a beach. Well, it used to just be a beach. They are putting a lot of effort into turning this into something quite else. So if you kind of want to just see a beach, you might want to come a little more quickly. So where we are staying is a private residence and a sea of other private residences. Now, we are staying in the back. They have 2 casitas here, and by casita I mean they're like little houses. Now, aren't they much? Now it's a room with air conditioning and a bed, and well, there's a bathroom in there. But what else do you need? You're not really going to be staying in there now, are you? No, this is quiet, it is peaceful, and it is exactly where we want it to be. Okay, a little housekeeping. Where are you? There you are. A little housekeeping for you. One sec. There. That's better. The very first link in the description below is going to take you to a page over in the Pirate Wanderer community over on Patreon. And there you're going to find a whole list of all of our favorite places, our favorite restaurants, our favorite destinations, favorite places to explore, both in Mérida, here in Progreso, and in the upcoming surprise third place we have yet to go. So if you kind of want to follow in our footsteps and kind of see the path that we've taken, that's the place to go. Now, what I'd like you to do is go into the comments on that page that you go to and put your own footsteps in so others can follow in your path as well. Because between all of us, I think we can figure out how to hit just about every single spot in all 3 of these cities. All right, it's hot up here. I'm going back in the water. It is 6:30 on this fine, foggy, let's fog up the lens Mexican morning, and today we are heading to a place called Holbox. It is the last stop in our whole Yucatan adventure, and it's going to take us all day to get there. Now, why am I including that in this fine video about things to do in and around Mérida? Well, because life's an adventure, and sometimes you just got to take a whole day to get to somewhere cool. So, and I hope this isn't going to be an hourly kind of thing where I have to clean off the camera. Problem is, it's sat inside in the air conditioned all night long, and you come out here in the humidity and, well, this happens. This is at least a 4-step process to get from here in Progreso to Holbox, starting with step 1 is an Uber, 40-minute ride to Mérida. And then we have a 6-hour bus ride from here to some other town down in another part of the Yucatan. Alrighty, made it to Chiquila. We just need to find the ferry to the island. I don't see the ferry to the island. Well, found the boat. Welcome to Holbox. Unfortunately, we're not quite there yet. Our hostel's on the other side of the island. 1 step to go. Okay, you have questions. What is Holbox? I don't know yet. We just got here and got set up in the hostel. I'm going to go explore here in a bit. Why Holbox? Well, that's a whole different question. So we have never been to Holbox. I have never heard of Holbox. It's down kind of near Cancun, and I was actually really worried that this was going to be, oh, I don't know, resort level like Cancun. I don't know if you can see behind me, but thankfully this is nothing like Cancun. This is Holbox. We were out and about all last night. Didn't bring a camera with me, sorry. Let me get out of the roadway. It is exactly what I'd hoped this place would be. I mean, right down to the... There are no cars here. There are no cars here not because I don't like cars, it's because, well, the roadways can't handle cars. Everybody here is in a quad or a lifted golf cart. To say the roads are unimproved would be an understatement, but it's exactly what this place needs. Place reminds me a lot of Puerto Viejo, Costa Rica, which is probably my favorite place in the entire world. This is a little more built up. It's a little more of a destination, but it has the exact same feel. And this might be my new number 2. The town is really sprawling. There's a whole little tourist section up here, but then on the outskirts of it there are, well, not tourism. I have a loud motorcycle coming up. Give me a second. And we are also technically in the low season here, which means there's hardly anyone here, which is strange because even though it's like 9,000 degrees, this is when it's cooling off. Can't imagine being here in August. If August is the high season, I'm going to spend all my time with a mojito underwater. It's still kind of cool here though. Well, not cool. You know what I mean. One of the bigger problems you're going to have walking through here is there are so many low spots, and low spots mean flooded water, which means you got to find a high ground that's not too muddy. So while you were here in Holbox, you can come visit the puppies. It's a humane society. You can come out here, you can walk the dogs, you can bring them home. In fact, you want to help support them, you could even give them a little PayPal. But yeah, you can come adopt a dog for a couple hours, walk them around the streets, or just come out and play with them. I highly recommend. These guys are fun. What do you think? Say hello. So you're gonna take him home?
His name is Holbox.
His name is Cholbox?
No, Holbox.
Holbox. That's original.
This is one of
So we chose to stay in a hostel on this leg of the trip. Why? Well, it's cheaper, and also we wanted to, you have to forgive me, I'm looking down because it's really treacherous to walk around here. We wanted to experience other people experiencing this place, and you really can't do much better than that than in a European hostel in Mexico. The hostel is called Kin Camping, and primarily it's a whole bunch of queen-size tents that you can sleep outside. Or they have a small room which has 10 bunks in it, and it's air-conditioned. You can guess which one we picked. There is a communal area, actually several communal kitchens, and they're very nice people. Primarily they're German, French, and of course a lot of Spanish speakers. It is nice to be around folks who just want to travel for a place and not necessarily for, well, whatever resort level stuff they can find. So what is there to do in Holbox? Well, there's actually quite a lot. In the evenings, you can go look at the bioluminescence. All of the waters around here just sort of glow, but of course, they can't be light, and we spent a lot of time in the bars at night, so that didn't work out too much for us. Oh, there's a sandbar just up there at Point Mosquito. At low tide, you could walk like 2 hours out across on the bottom of the ocean. And if you don't get back in time, then the tide comes back in and you're kind of screwed. What else is there to do here? Oh yeah, there's 3 islands out here. One, if you're kind of into birding, you can go look at the birds. One of them has a cenote on it. We didn't quite seem to be able to get past, well, the beach and the beach clubs. For us, this little 3-day hiatus has turned into, well, choosing calories. And our calories apparently are coming from liquid this week. You do what you got to do. So I have taken you to 3 places. Which is better, you ask? Well, if you have the means and the wherewithal and the time, I suggest going to all of them, honestly. If you have to pick one, let me give you sort of a quick rundown of the 3. Mérida is a lovely city. It is a city. It has everything you could possibly want all in one place. Transportation is easy. It's a lovely place to visit. Now, if you want to go to Progreso Beach, it's sort of like a beach version of Mérida. It also has much of everything that you want. I think a car is coming. Nope. It's really hard to tell here because I'm in Holbox, which is a completely different beast than the other 2. How to describe Holbox? It is unrefined at its finest. There is nothing resembling creature comforts here, and I wouldn't have it any other way. The food, the people, everything is tremendous. The roads, as you can kind of see, are completely filled with mud, dirt, sand. It is, well, it's not the Riviera, I'll tell you that, but it is also a wonderful destination. Could you spend a week or 2 here? Yeah, probably. I mean, if you like to eat, drink, and play in the water. Where would you like to spend your time? For me, I think we had the right balance, but here's the other problem. The Yucatan has so many other places that, well, I haven't got to yet. So maybe you want to spend, I don't know, 6 months and just kind of keep exploring, because there's a lot to do down here. Thanks for watching.